Hello humans, hello. Okay, if you just get everything ready by laying some mats out, making a space, making time, getting ready to deep dive into your practice today. So today is going to be a class that's going to be surrounded by the concept of doing Ashtanga postures. So if you know what that is, that's great. If you don't, you're still going to enjoy and get loads from this class. So Ashtanga is a set sequence of postures that comes from a very long lineage yoga tradition. And it's intended to be kind of a real cleansing practice for the body, something that you can do every day or 5 or 6 days a week. And this practice I have to caveat with, I'm not coming from a strict Ashtanga perspective. I'm trained in Ashtanga yoga. It was my practice for probably the first 5 to 7 years of my yoga practice. However, I have explored lots of other different trainings, and today we're going to be focusing on accessing the postures of Ashtanga yoga, following the sequence of Ashtanga yoga, but exploring how we can feel that in the body, exploring our habitual way of moving into a posture, and then experimenting with moving differently, with engaging muscles differently, and deeply diving into that sensation of exploration, being in the moment, breathing deeply, and seeing if we can reconnect with those traditional set static postures in a new and different way every time we practice. So when you're ready, we're going to start in a seated position and just build what we call the Ujjayi breath, and just bring some awareness of the bandhas or muscle activation that we use in Ashtanga. So sitting comfortably, allowing the busyness of the mind to settle by bringing your attention and awareness into the posture of your body and to your breathing. And we're going to take a few sighing breaths, but when we sigh out, I want you to feel like you're fogging up a window or a mirror. So we're going to take a deep inhale, feeling that breath fill the sides, stretching into the top, expanding through the whole of the chest, the body, the rib cage. And exhaling out of the mouth. Fully and deeply. And again, inhaling. Finding that more erect spine, lifting the top of the head to the ceiling. And exhaling. Maybe beginning to close your eyes, continuing this breath pattern, this breath rhythm. And this time as we exhale, I want you to feel you pull your low belly back towards your spine, so you're hollowing out. Lovely. So again, inhaling with me. Exhale. Pull in the belly. Awesome. Last time, inhaling. Exhaling. Lift your pelvic floor if you know what that is. Squeeze up slightly in your genital region. Awesome. And then let everything go. And now we're going to focus on breathing through the nose, but we're going to add that sensation. So it sounds a little bit like a rolling wave or a Darth Vader sound, but it's all about making that breath audible, a slight constriction in the back of the throat that just allows you to focus that little bit deeper, that draws that attention, that draws that internal subtle drishti back into the breath. Inhaling. Three more times, breathing in deeply through the nose. Exhaling through the nose. Inhaling. Feel the nostrils flare. Feel the space almost in your sinuses behind your eyes, feeling cool, feeling open. Everything is beginning to circulate, to flow more deeply, more naturally, but with attention and awareness and care. And the mind will get busy and distracted from time to time. That's only natural. Continue breathing, continue listening, continue feeling, drawing that attention and awareness back to the breath. Amazing. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to move on to the mat. Okay, and this practice is made to be back to back with the next sequences we're going to do. So I'm going to do the first part of the Ashtanga sequence today, but you're going to be able to stop it, and then if you want to, I'll make videos in the future, or that are probably online now if you're watching it in retrospect, that you can just tag it onto the end of, just zoom forward past the introduction and come back to that point of where the practice left off and continue the postures in that sequence. And I'll mark it on the notes below where it's going to be paused and where to restart on the next video. So we're going to learn about the ways we move our body before we go into our Ashtanga flow, just so that we have an awareness of some habitual movements we may do, habitual activation of the muscles, and how we can not correct, because every experience, every activation is useful and is nourishing, but how we can explore different ways of engaging muscles. So to start with, we're going to look at pelvic tilt. So when you're ready, I want you to scoot your bottom back and feel like you're squeezing up in your low back and your whole belly is opening forward. Nice. And notice how your rib cage flares, your chest is open. And then as you exhale, I want you to hook your hips forward, pull up the pelvic bone so it knits towards the rib cage, engage that core, and scoot the hip bones, tucking the sit bones under, tucking the tip of the bottom underneath you. And we're going to do that movement 3 more times. Inhale, opening, flaring the ribs, rolling the shoulders back, squeezing the shoulder blades together, finding that curve of the spine, maybe even looking up to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, begin by engaging and pulling the low belly in, scooting the hips forward. Feel that gentle roll as we engage down. Last time, inhale, open. Exhale, engage the belly, lifting, drawing in, feeling that strength and solidity. Great. Okay, so we've done the hips. Now we're going to focus on the chest region. So again, we're going to go from this open posture, opening the front body, where we lift and open. I want you to bring your hands up in front of you, but I want you to take them back and down your back. So you're shooting your shoulder blades back and down, and you're opening through the chest, sending the back of the palms backwards. And then as you exhale, we're going to close the body, hollow it out by reaching forward with the fingertips, scooting the rib cage back, drawing the core in, tucking the chin. 3 more times. Inhale, open, elbows go down, chest opens. See if you can keep your pelvis in neutral while we're doing this. Our temptation will be to tip the pelvis backwards or tip the bottom back. Last time, inhale. Open the chest, elbows back, palms back. Lift that heart up towards the ceiling. There's length there as well as opening. Exhale, tuck the chin around the back. Creep into those stretchy, gorgeous feelings as you open and broaden through the back of your body, pulling the rib cage towards the back of the room. Lovely. And then reset and shake it all off. And the final thing we're going to do is work on shoulder activation. So we've looked at pelvic tilt, we've looked at the way the front body is opening, and it all kind of works together. You'll notice as you do one thing, then the pelvic tilt changes, or the engagement of your shoulder changes. So it's all tied in together in the patterns in the way we move, and it's our job to notice and explore different ways of movement, because habitual repetitive movement is not good for us. And if we're doing the same postures every day, it's important to notice where we are moving towards somewhere that may be harmful if we're repeating the same postures in the same way that's maybe overstraining certain areas of our body. So knowing how to engage and lift out of that habitual movement is great. Last thing we're going to do is shoulder movement. So we're going to push our shoulders all the way forward like that out of their sockets and lift them up so the shoulders are as close to the ears as possible, and then bring them down. So this is our tight, extended shoulder movement. So the shoulders are staying as close to the ears as they can, drawing out of their sockets. Your shoulder blades are stretching away from their position on the back. And do this a few more times. See if you can bring in the Ujjayi breath, inhaling up, exhaling down. Lovely. And then we're gonna, what we term, wrap the shoulders. So it's all about bringing the shoulder blades down the back, sinking the shoulders back into their sockets and feeling that sense of intensity there. Shoulders down, tucking them in, and squeezing and wrapping the elbows together. Keep the rib cage tucked, keep all of this on. Nice. So relax them out for a moment and then squeeze them in. Shoulder blades draw down the back as if you're trying to tuck the bottom tips of your shoulder blades into your back pockets. The elbows are drawing down, the hands are active, they're slightly squeezing together without meeting. Nice. One more time. It feels a lot, it feels different. So shrugging those shoulders into place, finding that movement in the scapula. Right, squeezing the elbows in, and we're drawing everything down, so we're solidifying. Great. So we've felt some movements, felt some different ways of moving the body, and now we're going to bring them into our Ashtanga yoga flow. We're going to do the standing part of the sequence today, which is going to be amazing. And then we'll follow on from that in the next series of all the different types of, all the different progressions and all the different ways we go through our practice. So, when you're ready, coming to the front of the mat, toes together, heels slightly apart. Beginning to draw that Ujjayi breath into the body. And the practice is made up of the bandhas, so those internal locks. So when I was asking you to lift that belly towards your spine and lift your pelvic floor or your genital region up slightly, that's all about the bandhas. So engaging the bandhas now. And don't worry if you lose concentration on them, if they release, just whenever you notice in practice, see how it feels to engage them again. That Ujjayi breath is just drawing you into your moment. Letting go of anything else you have to do today, honouring your body, ready to experience how it feels to really be you right now. And then when you're ready, we're going to focus on drishti as well. So drishti is where our gaze is, and that's an important point. And we're going to let our drishti follow where the movement is going today. Follow where our attention, our opening is seeking to move to. And generally I'll refer to two things. So opening your front body is that where you're drawing the shoulder blades down, you're flailing the ribs, and you're curving the hips back. And often a little bend in the knees helps that. Closing the front body or solidifying the front body, core engaged, hooking the pelvic bone towards the rib cage, everything knitted down and solid, nice long low back. I'll also talk about extending through the shoulders and protracting while wrapping the shoulder blades, so drawing them down the back. So what we were practicing earlier. Are we ready to practice? Okay. When you're ready, bring your hands together at the center of your chest. Ujjayi breath commenced. Feeling the feet on the floor, feeling the legs active, pressing down. The toes are tickling the ground, feeling really connected. And then when you inhale, sweep the hands up, gaze follows that intention of movement, that intention of lengthening upwards. Chest lifts so you have a slightly open front body. And then see how it feels to exhale, close the front body by engaging the core and drawing the ribs down without moving the arms. Take another inhale here. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees as much as you need to come to a forward fold. Release the head and neck. So we'll be flowing through 3 of each Surya Namaskar, if you know what that means. Otherwise, we're repeating the same sequence 3 times. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Half fold. This time it's going to be slower. We're going to repeat it. We're going to go through each move. We're going to experiment with how it feels. And then the next 2, you're on your own to explore your sensation. So notice if you're buckling through the back, if you feel like you're opening that chest, and see how it would feel to close the front body by drawing the rib cage up and engaging the core. See if at the same time you can slide those shoulder blades down the back, tucking the shoulders back into the rib cage and lengthening the neck forward. Big inhale. Intention is forward, drishti is forward. Exhale, hands to ground, shifting the weight into the hands, wrapping the shoulder blades, protracting, lifting the rib cage to the ceiling, tipping the weight forward, and then hopping, stepping, jumping back to your chaturanga, lowering down with me. Elbows go backwards, heart reaches forward, core stays engaged. Bringing you to the ground, Untuck the toes, point those toes, actively stretching behind you. And I want you to slightly scoop and engage your core, just like you're closing the front body as you lift yourself up into up dog. And that low belly is going to be nicely engaged, your chest lifting forward. And then exhale, tuck the chin, draw up in the rib cage, roll back to your downward dog. Breathe here, deep between the knees or to the belly button. Let the home. Begin to notice what your knees are doing, whether they're knocking together, whether they're splayed out. Can you see your ankles? And maybe if they're super locked and super straight, we can add a little micro bend to make them a little easier and softer. Maybe if they're super bent, we can begin to roll back. See how it feels to try and hook and shine your sit bones to the ceiling. See how it feels to try and tuck your sit bones towards your heels and hollow out the body by knitting the rib cage towards the ceiling. And again, why don't we experiment with that? So hooking the hip bones up, hollowing, opening the front body, and then tying the hip bones down towards the heels, concaving the front body out. Lovely. When you're ready, inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, bend the knees. Hop, step or jump your way to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold, release completely. Drishti between the shins. Inhale, roll the body up, lift the hands up again, preparing to go into that slightly open posture, shoulder blades glide down the back. Exhale, release. On you, 2 more times, flow at your own pace, but investigate. I'm going to give you some guides, but you don't need to listen to me right now. Just find your flow, the same flow. Inhaling, gazing up, lengthening. Remember, even when you're opening the front body, that core is engaged. Exhale, fold forward, release the head and the neck. Inhale, drishti is forward, lifting and lengthening, drawing the ribs up and in, shrugging the shoulders back, experimenting how it feels to change the way you enter this lift up. Really knit the core back towards the spine. Exhale, plant the hands, hook the elbows in, wrapping the shoulders, leaning forward. Hop, step or jumping your way into your chaturanga, lowering down. Inhale, lift through the chest. And again, remember to keep that low belly on. Tuck the chin slightly back into the neck and lengthen through the top of the head. Make sure the shoulders are reaching away from the ears and the back feels like it's broadening. Heart lifting forwards as well as up. Exhale, draw the belly in. It starts from there, this juicy rolling motion all the way back into your downward dog. Breathe here. This is your time to get your ujjayi going. This is your time to play with really pressing the ground away and taking those shoulders up to the ears. And then how it feels to bend the elbows, wrapping them back and down towards the earth, shrugging the shoulders into their sockets. Awesome. When you're ready, gazing forward, shifting the weight, finding your way to hop, step or jump your way to the front of the mat. We will be going through that in another class, how to jump, how to float. Inhale, lift up, roll the body. Gaze up to the ceiling. Exhale. One more round. Inhale, sweep up, gaze up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen, long straight spine. Play with opening the front body and then play with knitting it in. You explore. Breathe deep. Exhale, we bring the hands to the ground, lean the weight into the hands and find our way back into our chaturanga. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, draw the rib cage in, draw the belly in, and rolling back to your downward dog. Spread the fingers, nestle the toes into the ground, feel connected. Shrug those shoulders back into the sockets, wrap the elbows round, hollow out the body, roll forwards, backwards, and stepping forward into your forward fold. Exhale to fold. Inhale to roll all the way up. Exhale, release. Pause for a moment, keep that breath there, steady yourself in your position. Strong standing, taking up space, placing your feet on the earth, knowing you are here for a purpose. Surya Namaskar B, I'm going to talk you through it slowly first, and then you can flow in your own time, doing 3 to 5. When you're ready, bending the knees, inhaling the hands up. Notice your tendency here in this chair pose to lift and open and curve the spine, opening the front body. And then see how it feels to ease the buttocks back, draw the belly in, hook the sit bones under as if they're trying to get towards the heels. Feel how much stronger that feels. Maybe lower down, send those bum back, but don't let the front body open. Keep knitting the ribcage in. Strong, breathe. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold forward. Again, focus between the legs, this moment of grounding, of surrender, of bowing to that which is greater than you. Inhale, lift and lengthen, play with that sense of length. How much can you get a sense of strength through knitting the ribs up? Exhale, place the hands down, gazes forward, lifting that weight into the hands, stepping back. Chaturanga, lowering on the exhale. Inhale, lift through the chest, tops of the feet. And again, keeping that core on. So you feel a little push forward of the hips and a reach forward of the chest. Tuck the chin first, like a wave. Your spine begins to ripple up between your shoulder blades as you begin to come back into your downward dog. Just here on the inhale, step your left foot forward. Oh, funky. Cup the right foot round 45 degrees at the back and take that inhale to lift you up. Gazes up, shrug the shoulders down your back. Feel how it feels to wrap the shoulders in this posture, and then feel how it feels to extend the shoulders all the way up. Notice how those postures make you feel, how the change, the subtlety makes you feel. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands to the ground. Step back. Gaze forward, elbows backwards, chest forwards, lowering down. Inhale, lifting up dog, tops of the feet. Again, starting with the chin tucking, rolling, pressing into the heels of the hand. Feeling that wave through the spine. Don't be afraid to pause, to take a little longer and feel through each and every vertebrae. Next, inhale, right foot forward. Cupping left foot round, sweep up. Exhale, hands come down. Nice. Step back. Lower down. Inhale, press back up. So notice there I didn't. Sometimes just rolling forward, letting the chest billow out, knitting the shoulders together, shoulder blades together, letting the chin lengthen slightly forward, lifting the chest from there, pressing the hips into the floor, lifting the low belly away from the ground. That is enough. You can push up from there to downward dog. All things for you to play with. Breathe deep, breathe full. When you're ready, Gazing forward, knitting the ribcage up into the body, rocking and rolling. Hopping to the front of your mat, stepping, find your way. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Keep that breath strong and long. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Gaze to the fingertips. Exhale. Lovely. So we're going to repeat that again. I noticed I forgot the chair pose on that one, so lucky you guys. Okay, when you're ready, in your time, in your way, find your breath. And you can practice with me or practice yourself, exploring the options. Inhale, bend the knees, lift the hands, play with closing or opening the front body. Mine's open at the moment. And then as I roll into my forward fold, I'm going to close the body and then fold forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, palms go down, weight goes forward. Hopping, stepping, jumping your way down into your chaturanga. Inhale, lift tops of the feet, lifting up, elbows search backwards, belly sucks up and in, hooking the hips slightly forward as if they're trying to get to your forearms. Take an inhale, and it's the exhale that rolls you up to your downward dog. Inhale, step one foot forward, cut the other foot round, sweep the hands up. Play with that stretching or solidifying of the shoulders into the back. Maybe you're reaching up, maybe you're shrugging the shoulders down your back, what feels good. Bending into that front knee, drawing drawing the hip of the foot that's stretching backwards to square, as if it's trying to reach that front bent knee. Using an exhale to bring you down. And then doing the same thing on the other side. Everyone should be joining back in downward dog. Then when you're ready, gazing to the front of the mat, hot stepping or jumping your way. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees deeply, sit bones reach towards the heel, weight goes back, coming up to your chair pose. And exhale, release. Final one there. A little bit faster, take it at your pace. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, hands go down. Inhale, lift through the chest. Exhale, roll back. Step foot forward, sweep up. Exhale, hands plant to the ground, step back. Lower down. Find a chest or heart opener. Press into the floor, feel strong in the core, rolling back, downward dog. Step foot forward, reach up, breathe in. Exhale, hands come down, step back. Lower down. Inhale. And then exhale back to downward dog. Okay, when you're ready, gazing forward, shrugging the shoulders back into their sockets, hooking the ribcage up towards the ceiling, drawing up in the low belly, find those bandhas, hop, step or jump your way to the front of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping up, bending the knees, chair pose. Exhale, release. We're going to work on Paschimottanasana, step the feet. Paschimottanasana, what am I talking about? We're gonna work on forward fold. So we're gonna face both feet forward. Standing at the front of your mat, take an inhale. Exhale, fold. Hooking the toes with the 2 fingers, bending the elbows slightly. And we're going to play with different sensations here. So fold naturally if you can. Bend the knees as much as you need to here. And then try, as you breathe here, to hook the hips and hook the sit bones up as if they're reaching for the ceiling, and the chest comes in and the elbows draw out to the side. Shoulders shrug by the ears. And then on an inhale, chest lifts slightly away from the legs. Shoulders squeeze up and together in the back. And sit bones curve back in as if you're trying to slightly pull the belly away from the thighs and hook the sit bones towards the heels. And then again, when we're ready, as you inhale, shine the hip and sit bones up towards the ceiling. Whole body collapses in towards the legs. Shoulders hook down towards the ears, pulling outwards. And again, shrugging those shoulders up into the back. Drawing the core in, drawing the ribcage in so it takes you a little away from the legs. And tucking the sit bones again. This time we'll roll all the way up, release the feet. Take a moment for our blood pressure to come back down, and then we'll try Padahastasana. So a forward fold again, this time taking the hands underneath the feet. Feet at hip distance, and just play with adjusting the heels so they're hiding behind your ankles. And again, we're going to bend into the elbows out to the side, scoop the hip bones up to the ceiling, get as close as you can to your thighs, squeezing in. And again, shrugging the shoulders back into the spine, drawing the ribcage away, feeling that sensation of lifting, of creating more solidity in the central body by taking those shoulders back in. Last time, stretching down. Shoulders come towards ears, spine feels long. And again, shrugging the shoulders up, hollowing the body out. Release the hands, bring them to the hips, draw the rib cage in, feel strong in the core, lengthen the shoulders back and lift up. Exhale, bring the feet together, coming to stand at the front of your mat. When you're ready, stepping back, opening to the long edge of your mat, and we're going to point the right foot or right toes towards the short edge of your mat, coming into Trikonasana. Take an inhale here, feel a sweep as your body lengthens through its sides and the rib cage tie in. Shoulders draw away from the ears and come down. So you can hook the toe here, or maybe you just want to rest your hand on your shin. And again, I want you to try pushing into both heels, drawing a space between the bottom ribs and the floor, drawing the core in and circling the rib cage up towards the ceiling. I want you to release the neck and make sure the shoulders are moving away from the ears. Maybe we're gazing up towards the hand, just with the eyes, not so much with the neck. And then when we come to lifting back up, we're going to take an inhale. We're going to feel our whole body begin to activate, pressing into the feet, drawing up in the core, lifting up. Big breath in. Swapping the feet around. And again, finding that length. Shoulders shrink down as the chest lifts to the ceiling. Exhale. Other side. Maybe hooking the toe, maybe not. Wrapping and rolling those ribs, that whole side body open, but don't let that flare your rib cage. So you can knit your rib cage in while twisting the body open. I know, it's complicated, it's crazy, so many prompts. Experiment, play with your body. Shrug the shoulders away from the ears, then maybe draw them up, and then shrug them again. See what feels good. Gaze up to the ceiling. Release the neck. Play. Press into the feet, draw in the core. Breathe deep. Inhale again, press into the feet, engage. Feel that energy lifting you up with the breath. Roll the feet around. Again, the right foot points to the short edge of the mat. And you're going to take the left hand and bring it to the floor behind the right foot, if you can, otherwise propping it on the shin. Coming into a revolve triangle, so pulling back in that right hip. And you can even tuck your thumb in there and just give it an encouragement back. And then opening up, hands open, chest is rolling to open to the right side of your mat, or your right leg. And again, play with releasing the neck, play with shrugging the shoulder blades down. Play with really reaching through that top finger. Bend a little bit into that front knee and then push up on an inhale, unraveling, rotating the feet round and swapping to the other side. Reaching that top hand up, gaze there, drawing the shoulders back, drawing the core in, lengthening through the top of the head. Again, see if you can tuck that hip back, draw the core in, shrug the shoulders down, bend that front knee, press into the heel, lift up. And exhale, stepping to the front of the mat. Find your ujjayi breath. Stepping out wide again. Facing those right toes to the back. See if you can go a little wider with the feet. Ease into the hips. And I want you to feel like you're rolling your legs open and backwards. Dropping into that space you create, hooking up in the core. And either forearm to thigh, if that's what you can access, or hand to the ground. Lifting the left hand up and over. And again, we're spiraling open through the chest, bending in the knee, stretching and grounding back through that back foot. And there'll be a temptation to reach out through that front arm and squeeze the shoulder up to the ear. You could do that, or you could shrug it down and create space. Pressing into that front heel, inhaling, draw the core in, lift up, roll the feet around and swap over. Hands come down, hand comes over. Gazing up to the hand, lengthening through. Maybe the shoulder comes up, maybe it comes down. Maybe you're focusing today on screwing the hips into joint. Draw the core in, inhale, lift up. Revolving that pose can be a bit tricky. So for those of you who are more new to this, bringing the back knee down, coming into a lunge, taking the left elbow to the right knee and coming into a twist this way by bringing the palms together here. For those of you feeling advanced or excited, we can bend into that right knee, take the elbow to the outside of the right knee and place the hand down by the foot. Again, hooking those hips back and rolling to open here. Bend into that front knee a little more, squeeze and engage through the spine. Again, notice that the shoulders are coming up by the ears, shrug them down. Lift the chest through, shine it as if it's trying to reach the wall. Behind you or in front of you, play with that engagement through the chest. Exhale, gaze down. Inhale, press into that front knee, roll and open up. And cartwheel to the other side. Again, option, back knee to the floor, palms together for a twist. Or bringing the hand all the way down, up and over. Again, release the neck if that feels good. Your gaze with your eyes can be to the top hand, but your neck can be released. When you're ready, pressing into that front heel. Exhale, gaze down. Inhale, cartwheel up. Open the hands to the side. And step to the front of the mat. Inhale, open to the long edge of your mat. As we inhale here, I want the chest to lift as the shoulders and the elbows sink towards the floor and the core ties up and in. Feeling strong. Exhale, sit bones shine towards the ceiling, folding forward, bringing the hands in line with the feet, sending the elbows backwards, top of the head towards the floor, bending the knees if you need to. Here is somewhere in the rocket practice that if you are feeling like you want to, you can headstand, but in Ashtanga, this is a forward fold, wide-legged. We're going to slightly adjust the wide leg sequence just for the purpose of finishing this class. Inhale, lift and lengthen, half fold. Exhale here. Inhale all the way up. Exhale. Inhale, bring the hands out to the side. Exhale, interlock the hands behind you. Inhale, shoulders search down, squeezing the arms together, rolling the chest open. Exhale, fold forward. Nice. Play with really releasing those shoulders towards the ears, letting go. And then play with pulling them up and away, creating space in the neck. Almost like a wave with your breath as you exhale, release those shoulders towards the ears, let everything grow heavier. As you inhale, shoulders search towards, shrugging back into their socket, shoulder blades search up, hands search towards the ceiling. Inhale, sweep up, release the hands. Exhale, fold forward, grabbing the toes, sending the elbows out to the side. Again, play with shining the sit bones, hooking them up towards the ceiling, and then feel how it feels to hook them down. Take yourself a little out of the forward fold by engaging your hamstrings and drawing your sit bones towards your heels. Maybe we send the elbows out to the side, really pulling, creating a really broad back. Maybe we shrug the shoulders to the ears. Maybe we tuck them back into the rib cage. Inhale. Roll up, gaze forward. Exhale here. Inhale all the way up. Lovely. And if you're going to continue with some of the next classes on my YouTube page, you're going to exhale, step to the front of the mat and pause there. If you're joining me to end this class here, tuck the heels in, heel tying the feet in, take an inhale. Exhale, bend the knees down, coming into a squat. Ooh, this isn't a very Ashtanga ending, I do apologise. Lovely, sit the sit bones to the floor, bring the legs out, reach the torso up, exhale, fold forward, and breathe here. Maybe you need to bend the knees in this posture, that's great. Inhale, roll up again. Gently take the feet forward. Extending the heels out, activating the legs, bringing the hands to your side, tucking your chin. Exhale, fold towards the feet. This is part of the seated postures in Ashtanga. We're just adding on to the end here for some therapeutic value towards Shavasana. A taster of what is to come. So we're folding forward in Paschimottanasana. Our feet are active, our arms are active, our chest is reaching forward. And then feel how it feels to just let go of all the activation and surrender. Oscillating now between the active and the passive state as we come to the end of the Ashtanga part of the practice. following the first part of this standing sequence. When you're ready, roll up gently. I'm going to do a little bit more active movement before we finish, before we surrender. So when you're ready, we're going to cross one ankle over the other, bringing the ankles in towards the buttocks, drawing the core in, hollowing out the body, and scooping the shoulders round and down so we feel like a really little squeezed ball. And this might be enough core work, but if you'd like to, you can roll onto the heels of the hands, press into the ground, and practice taking your legs through into a cross-legged lolasana. If that's all too much for you, that's fine. Why don't we try bringing the heels down, cross-pressing into the hands and lifting just the bum off the floor, finding that curve here. See what feels good for you to create some work. This will be great for the transitions when we move through the rest of our Ashtanga postures. And then when you finish, lowering yourself to a ground with an exhale, straightening out the legs, pointing the toes, bringing the hands about a foot's distance behind you and lifting the hips up for your Purvottanasana. Chest reaches between the shoulders, heels of the hands, toes point, breathe here. And with the next exhale, bringing yourself down. Again, we're going to practice that little ball shape, crossing the ankles over, drawing up in the core, rolling, tipping forward, and this time we're going to make our way onto our knees. So we're going to roll forward, press into the ground, lift up, tuck the legs under, and come onto the knees. Breathing here. We're going to have a little practice of headstand, a little practice of shoulder stand, a bridge, and relaxation. When you're ready, practicing for headstand, don't worry, you don't need to go all the way there. Find your ujjayi breath, find your focus. Bringing the hands together, knitting the fingers together, tucking the little finger in. Bringing the elbows at exactly shoulder distance, so exactly in line with the shoulders. And keep them there, do not let them splay out. And using the strength of the wrists and the strength of that wrap of the shoulders down into the spine, it's the same wrapping sensation to feel strong. Hollow out the body, reaching the ribcage back, and place this on the floor. Tucking the toes, push into your forearms, and coming into a downward dog onto these bound forearms, bound hands. Keep the palms open if you can. And for those of you that want to, you can stay here. For those of you that want to, you can bring the top of the head to the ground, creep forward, and then maybe bring one leg in and see if the other will lift off the floor. Nice. So I don't want anyone jumping or flailing their legs. So again, maybe one knee in, lift off the floor, maybe playing with kicking through. You don't have to extend today. This is just about playing with that first little play off the floor. Maybe you're here just not working out. Try not to let your shoulders buckle. So a common mistake is to kind of do a little forward roll because you take your hips way too far over. So as soon as you feel kind of cramping in your neck, as soon as you feel the tipping the weight too far backwards, just bring the knees down and reset. You don't want to send your shoulders too far forwards. So it's all about that resistance with the ground to keep the shoulders in line. Amazing. When you're ready, everyone lowering down, exhaling into a child's pose, arms outstretched, hips to heels, head to the ground. Drop in, feel. We're going to vinyasa through onto our backs. And that's going to take us towards our shoulder stand and then our closing practice. Bring the hands out in front of you, gaze forward. Use an inhale, roll up. And if you can roll almost straight into your plank, lowering down to chaturanga. Inhale, lift through the chest. Exhale, tuck the chin, draw up through the rib cage. Press back. Downward dog. And then everyone today, we're going to again play with taking that weight into our hands, tiptoeing the feet forward, crossing at the ankles when we're at our very limit, and sinking the hips, bending the knees so they come through the arms, and see if we can shuffle our feet through. If that was all too much to you, just find your way onto your bum. Using your core to slowly ease yourself back. Tucking those shoulder blades down into the ground. Nice. Sending your ankles over your hips, straightening the legs up to the ceiling, and you can stay here. Or if you would like to, you can bring the elbows into the ground. Push and lift through the feet. Tucking the hands up on the back, coming into a shoulder stand. Your choice, your way. Spending at least kind of 8 breaths here. Maybe lying on your back, maybe in the shoulder stand. And then when you're ready, using the exhale to slowly lower you to the floor. Bringing the heels behind the buttocks, laying the hands by your sides, tucking the shoulders underneath you. And just using your inhale to press into the feet and lift the hips. And then exhale to roll you down. You can do that 3 more times. You can take any last movements you need. And then spreading the legs out to either side of the mat, spreading the arms. And resting for your Shavasana. Allow as long as you need here. Let go of Ujjayi breath, let go of needing to move, needing to do. And settle wholeheartedly, fully, investing in rest, investing in healing, investing in letting the movement that we have just done settle and nourish into the body. Maybe let the eyes grow heavy. Let the jaw and tongue relax, lowering back and down into gravity. Almost like it could infinitely release more and more and more as your eyes grow heavy, your limbs grow heavy, your whole body is engaged with the ground, which is supporting it fully. You're at once surrendering, relaxing down, and yet simultaneously being lifted and supported by the floor. You do not need to do anything. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. You are safe to rest. Pause the video here if you'd like to rest longer, or slowly and gently make your way up to a seated position, being as careful and as gentle with yourself as you can. So I'd like to repeat to you the invitation to engage in some of the following classes. So we've done today the first part of the Ashtanga sequence. The next classes are going to be following on, doing some of the first part, some of the Surya namaskars, and then following on in the successive postures. Enjoy.